Brandon's mom. And for the celebration, you may have seen that a lot of people are walking around with mustaches. My friend Kristen had hers upside down, and I had mine that way too. You've got a what? You got a red one. Okay, there it is. Why? Why the mustaches?
Brandon wanted to have a stash bash. So it was all his idea.
So they bought
He's
these.
wearing a shirt that says, "I must ask you a question. Do you know Jesus?" That's the shirt he's wearing tonight. So I think from that shirt, he was like, I must ask my mother if we can have a stash party.
Instead, our friend Brandon blacked out and he went Instead, our friend Brandon blacked out and he went his voice could not take quiet.
This is Stephen, Maya. Stephen's 18 now. His brother's Brandon, and he was 13 at the time when the aneurysm happened. And so we were just chatting right now, right before filming this, a little bit about his testimony and where he was at with the Lord before the aneurysm happened. So share a little bit more about that.
Yeah, pretty much. My parents were Christians, my brother was a Christian, so I mean, if they're going into heaven, then I might as well just tag along in, you know? But in reality, like, my heart wasn't right. It was really just a hit for me, saying like, you ask so many questions when you know so little, and you know who I am, like you've been taught who I am, but you don't know like you don't truly know me. And it really hit me that like, that's why Brandon had something that I didn't.
Okay, this is Brian, and Brian is dear friends with Brandon, and at the time of the aneurysm, he was his youth pastor.
Brandon, one of his main goals when we were on a mission trip together was to be the one to come up with a name so good that we had to pick it. And he was taking it very seriously because he wanted us to pick the name that he came up with. Anyhow, when Brandon was born, our son, next to the hospital room, I could look out our room where our son was being born and see Brandon's room. And so I did not mention it to Chanel, my wife, at the time because I didn't want to spring a new idea on her while she's in labor. And we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. But as our son was coming, Chanel was just thinking that name, Brandon, over and over. And she actually mentioned it. I didn't say it. But had been thinking it that day, and she said, "What do you think about naming it Brandon, naming our baby?" And I just started crying there.
I remember like him coming home late at night from school or practice, and so I remember him seeing just like a Bible open up on his chest a lot, and I'd just be like, why does he read that? Like, I don't understand. And I began trying to understand what God was trying to tell me, and it clicked, you know, that I really wasn't saved. And so since then I've become a Christian. I've been a Christian for 5 years as well.
So this whole journey.
So this is kind of like my birthday a little too. You know?
Wow, that is fantastic.
But people ask, you know, why did you name him? And the reason is that as I discipled Brandon and got to know him over 5 years, I knew this is the kind of boy that I want to have. This is my son when he grows up to be like somebody. This is the kind of boy I want him to be.
They came to Heritage Grace Community Church to visit, and just recently, like a week ago. But you had told me something that really hit me, Tina, about his love for the Lord growing. It hasn't diminished, but can you explain a little bit?
Just that his love for the Lord is still there. I mean, the passion that he has is more than even before the aneurysm, because he even told me, he goes, "Mom, I never used to pass out tracts." So being at death's doors, he has no fear anymore. He's been to death's doors. And he told me, he says, "I've already been to death's doors and I have nothing to fear." He realizes the fragility of life, and he wants to tell people.
You're so sweet that you put Hershey's out of business.